Women in Print Alliance is dedicated to connecting, empowering, and advancing women in the print industry. As part of Printing United Alliance, we're fostering a more inclusive future through advocacy, education, and networking opportunities that connect women across the entire industry. Join us as an individual to grow your career, expand your network, and access exclusive resources, or enroll your entire organization to show your commitment to supporting women in print. Become a member today at womeninprintalliance.org and help us shape the future of print.
Welcome to Her Imprint, part of the Impressions Exchange. I'm Denise Gustafson, your host. This podcast celebrates the remarkable women who are transforming the printing industry. We'll explore their journeys, from challenges to triumphs, and share the stories that leave a lasting imprint. Today I have with me Arpy Simonian. She's owner of Alpina Labels and Print.
Thank you very much. I'm excited.
I am excited to have you as well to learn a little bit about you. So to get us started, can you give us a little bit of background about Arpina Labels and Print?
So I started it 10 years ago, actually out of my house. I started brokering. I specialize in pressure-sensitive labels. I came from a printing background. My father owned a small printing company in Glendale, California, and I started working with him when I was about 16 years old. My parents were divorced, so it was just to have a connection with him. I went to LMU, got my poli-sci degree, was going to law school. My dad became ill, and I said, I'm going to postpone law school. And you know what happens with that? It's like, well, it's phone of the year. And I ended up spending 20 years of my life at the company. My dad never imagined women, just because of his Middle Eastern culture, could actually do something with print. And he just had no desire for me to take over. He didn't want me learning anything. And I essentially ran the business. So after 20 years, I said, it's time for me to leave. I didn't know what I was going to do. And clients were calling me, Arpy, you need to keep doing it. We were there because of you. And I said, I don't know how to do it. Like, I financially can't start a company. And a lot of it then just broker. And I'm like, why would you come to me? If I was a broker, you know that I'm getting it somewhere else for less money. And they said, we believe in you, Arpy. So the first year I worked out of my house, I worked side jobs. I saved every penny I could. And I ended up buying my first digital press, put $100,000 down on it. And that's how I started production in-house. And I stopped being a broker.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't take a loan from anybody. I did it all on my own, like everything. So it's just how passionate I am about what I do and how much I love it. And clients believe in me.
So I have to ask, what was the first press you got?
A Mark Andy.
A Mark Andy.
A Mark Andy digital. I never thought I would get a digital press.
Really?
I was old school flexo. So I was intrigued by analog scrolls. I was intrigued by just how dynamic it was. I was like, digital will never evolve. That's how I thought. And come to see that everything happens in line, where you have a big 13-inch roll, you put it in this machine. This is common language. I'm talking to clients.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Here's the print engine, and then it comes out die cut and laminated, all in one pass. We're not
and it's all done.
Yeah, and I was just fascinated by that. And I said, okay, this is how I'm going to start. That was my first press, and now I have a flexo press. I have 3 digital presses. I also do large format printing, so wall wraps and stuff like that.
It's just really big sticker, right? More or less.
We do walls, we do windows and all that stuff. But I thought, why not do it all? If we're going to talk about labels and stickers, it can encompass all that.
That is amazing. So you worked with your father for 20 years.
Yeah. And I learned the business. He didn't want to willingly teach me things. Again, a woman's role in our culture was very much secondary. He didn't want me understanding machines. And my whole theory was, how does the flexo machine run? How do I do a full color label? What does that involve? And then I was like, we have a really old Webtron 750. It was very old. And I said, I need to update analog scrolls. And I started researching, what are analog scrolls? And I went and I got really high line speed. And people are like, you're running amazing stuff for a very old machine. And it's like, when you start learning, you're taken seriously. And when you understand your presses, so I know how each of my machines runs. I know what's involved. I go down and I'm I will help and run the machine if I need to.
So, what was it about print that really made you feel like this was the place for you? Because obviously you were going down a different path originally. You were going to
Mhm.
go and get your law degree.
It was I love what labels stand for. When you walk into any store, the first thing that catches your eye is a label,
Mm.
right? And I tell clients this all the time. I'm like, it's up to me to print you a tangible, nice label where people are going to touch it and it's going to catch your eye. Then it's up to you to sell what's inside of that product. When I go buy, I love my wine. So when I go buy wine, I look at a nice label. When I buy a body wash or a candle, I realized how much it helps a brand sell their products. I'm a geek over labels. I'm very nerdy. My brother says I'm very passionate. When I talk about labels, I get excited because it's fun. It is.
It is. It's really fun. Especially, I've had some labels. I forgot what I got. It was like an artichoke dip. And like the label on the top of the container, it had like a sandpaper top. And it was like just the texture and the touch, the tactile nature of it was just really cool. And it added so much. I think I actually got it because of the label, not because I necessarily wanted that particular artichoke dip. It was just like, I'm like, it was more money than the other ones too. And I'm like, no, I'm going to try this one.
Yeah, but see, isn't that crazy? That's what labels do. When you go to a store, what catches your eye? I remember early on, somebody said to me there was a color study and it showed that yellows and red catch your eye. So I tell clients all the time, you want something appealing. This is what's going to sell your product. Think outside the box. Go with colors, go with finishes, stuff that people touch, because it's going to make people want to pick it up. That's important.
It is really important.
Yeah.
Now, for you, you're now a woman in a mostly male dominated industry. And you came from a situation where your father really didn't want to teach you the business because that was not a woman's role. How has that shaped your company or shaped you and your journey in print?
I would say it loud and proud that I'm a woman owned business. All my machines are actually named after women. I do believe in strong women. So my very first machine is Frenchie. So they all have names. All the guys that work for me, they all refer to them by their names. We don't even know what brand of machine they are. That's technically their name. I just like to speak it loud. And I think clients walk in, I have a very open floor space. When I would go to labeling companies before, it's like you go and there's a barrier. I don't get to see how production works. So I want people to be aware this is a woman-owned business. They're women machines named after strong women. She likes pink. I'm a girly girl. The boys have black shirts with pink logos on them and they're okay with wearing them, but it's making your presence known. And you got to fight a little bit harder because we are women. And I'm seeing how we have evolved over the years and I'm really excited, but it's still battles and challenging when you go to expos and you go to talk to people about buying machines or dealing with that. It's still challenging. So I'm like, I just want people to know that I'm a woman owned business. I'm proud. I love what I do. And I want to encourage more women to do it.
And congratulations, you said you just recently got certified too.
I did WBENC, so I'm very excited about that and building connections there and networks.
Now, in terms of representation in women, obviously we know that if you look at especially manufacturing, a third of companies have women in those C-suite roles. What do you think the industry can do to encourage women to reach out, to understand that there is a place for them in that C-suite?
I think it's not just the C-suite. I want to see women on the production floor. I want to see women fixing machines. I want to see them everywhere. And I think we can't be scared. We have to keep pushing the boundaries. I was raised by two very strong women, so I don't want anybody to ever tell me I can't do something. It's tough because I never had a blueprint of how I should go about it. And so every day I'm trying to figure it out. But I think every day we need to set an example and make it an easier path for some women to get into and just encourage more women to do it.
I think that's part of it. I know in some cases, a lot of women, there's a confidence issue too.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, I lacked a lot of confidence. I may come across very strong in what I do, but that confidence and intimidation, especially when you walk in, and I'll never forget one of my first label expos. I walked up to one of the machine booths and they said, "What are you selling, sweetheart?" And I said, I'm not selling anything. I actually own a printing company. Why do women that come have to be a salesperson? So that kind of made me believe, okay, Arpy, like you go in there, they're going to put you in, this is your typical role as a woman. And you're going to be like, no. And you come in with the knowledge, you come in with all that stuff. And that's why I tell people learn. Anybody who works for me, even if they're in the offices, knows how the machine works. They have to know. Hey, come show clients when they're here, let them understand. But as a woman, you don't just need to sit in the office. Be out on the floor, see how the process works. It also makes you more knowledgeable when you come to meetings with people.
Yeah, it helps all around, that confidence, that knowledge, and that the knowledge builds your confidence too.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important.
But it also makes me hurt a little bit, like you said, what are you selling, sweetheart? Why does it have to be the sweetheart? The other terms that tend to get used.
Oh, I was once on a call and somebody said I was emotional because I had a stronger tone in my voice. And when I got off the call, I said, you wouldn't have said that to a man. You said it to me because I'm a woman. And I take insult to that. I do. And I think we've come too far. And if I show you that I'm knowledgeable enough, I've learned so much over the years. I even know about electricity. I know single phase, three phase. I didn't need to know that in the beginning because I was like, okay, I'm getting my first machine. I knew nothing. But then I also realized I need to be a powerful force to be reckoned with. And the only way is through knowledge. And I know single phase. So when I talk to the electricians or when I sign a new lease, I'm hands on with all that. I know what I'm doing and I sound knowledgeable. And then people treat me differently.
You have the tools, you have the armor,
You need it. You need it.
and it's sad that you do. I think that's the thing that gets me the most is no matter how many women I talk to, it's the same thing. They feel the need to literally arm themselves with all of the things, the knowledge, as much as they can get their arms around, just to make sure that they feel comfortable enough just to be themselves in a room.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
It's really unfortunate, but we're strong. We have so much capability. And so I feel like go ahead and learn. To me, I want to constantly learn. If there's new technology, if there's this, because it makes me a stronger person and harder for them to dismiss me.
So when you were coming up and like learning, did you have mentors? Did you have somebody helping you? Or was this really something that you bootstrapped the whole way?
I did it all on my own. I had no blueprint of what I was doing. Most days I'm like, Arpy, what are you doing? I did have days where I sat in a room crying. I had those moments of, this is tough. Why am I doing it? And buying my first machine all on my own. And when I talk to people now and they're like, you created this on your own. I'm like, yeah. And I'm hella proud of it.
Oh yeah, you should
All
be.
on my own. And it was like asking questions, going to shows and saying, what is this? And I wanted to learn about substrates. I wanted to learn about inks. I wanted to learn about finishes. And I had no problem asking questions because if you don't ask questions, you don't learn if you don't get answers.
Mhm.
And so that's important to me. And that's why I feel like I'm really knowledgeable. And it's all because I did it on my own. I did. I asked questions and I wasn't afraid.
Which is kudos to you because I don't know how many women could be in that position and be comfortable asking
Thank
the
you.
questions.
Thank you. When you don't have a plan B, I didn't have a plan B.
So this was it.
Yeah, I didn't, I don't know what, I could have done an easier role. I could have went and been a salesperson at a labeling company when I left. That's what I could have done. And I said, no, I want to build something that's a woman-owned business in a very male-dominated society. And it was 20 years of me having to deal with what I did deal with. A woman who was thirsty for knowledge. Tell me, I geek out. Even all my friends have an appreciation for labels that is insane because I tell everybody and they come here and they love it and they're just like, wow, I get what you're talking about. And so I feel like I'm an advocate. Like I want to tell people how cool print is. It is.
So then the question is, how can we make sure that print is that inclusive space, that women and men, especially younger as they're coming in, have a place and that they feel supported? What can we do to help to foster that?
I'd love to see more trade schools offer printing. Out here in LA, I know there's, I think, Fullerton College that offers stuff, but it's only when I reached out to them too, it's like, do you have people you want to train? Then you can send it. I'd love to see people advocate for doing some sort of trade programs where we can bring in people, women, men. I don't even care at this level, right? Like, I think we just need to educate people on print because even flexo operators, it's a dying career path right now. And so that's unfortunate. Get more women involved and make it fun. I feel like print is not fun in some people's eyes. And I think we need to talk about the aspects of it, the creativity, the tangibleness of a brand. Hey, I have a wine bottle. I think we need to make it fun for people to say, this is something I want to enter. Because I have to tell you, every employee that I have now or have had in the past never wanted to get into print. They got into it and now they love it. I have guys who were never going to be a press operator that learned how to run a machine. So I'm always willing to bring in new people, women or men, saying, hey, come on over. I want to teach you a new trade. I want to make it fun. If I could in the warehouse of women, that would have been my ideal. Like it would. I want people to not be afraid. Try it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because there's certain biases, I think, with print, even though it's one of those industries that not a lot of people understand what goes on behind the label. What's the industry that supports that label on your wine bottle? They don't understand it. But when they do have an idea or an inkling, a lot of times it's not good, which I think is what's frustrating for me too, just even covering it and talking to people about print. Because it's funny, I mentioned this a couple times. There was an article in the New York Times a couple years ago about the how a best-selling novel is made. And they actually followed, somebody writes it gets set, and then it goes through the offset process, the whole thing, which is really cool to be able to see print like in a publication like that, talking about the actual process behind the making of a bestseller. But then I'm looking at the pictures that they used, and I'm like, it's in a press room that nobody had decided to straighten up. So there's dirty rags and there's things around. I'm like, that is just not what you want, because that's not what most shops look like now.
No.
And it just made me so angry on the inside, because I'm like, that's the perception that just continues to build forward, that the industry is outdated technology, that it's a dirty place. You're going to ink all over yourself. That's not how it is.
And you're right. And that's what's challenging too, is if you see what I've seen over the past 30 years in print and how dirty my warehouse is clean. Clients come in. Actually, my business is all word of mouth. In 10 years, I didn't have one salesperson. It's people referring people to me because I want them to come in. I want them to see how this process works. I want them to work with us, see how the machine print, feel material. I don't have an online store where you can go buy our labels. We're going to have to eventually navigate to that. But I want people to come into this warehouse and be passionate. And they walk in and they're like, wow, this is amazing. This is fun. I love seeing this. I love seeing how it works. And we have a clean warehouse and we have a fun warehouse where it explains unwind directions for labels. But I want people to be educated and say, hey, this is actually a place I want to go. I want to see how it works. I have clients even reaching out that are launching products that are like, can you record my labels being printed so I can post it on my social media? And I'm like, yes.
Not a
That's what I
problem.
want.
Yeah.
Yes. But see, that's making print fun.
I think once they understand like what goes behind and what goes into it, then they understand the creativity. They understand like the fun, like you said, of print. Because print it's amazing of what all the print shops that we deal with, what brands they're associated with, and all the things that they can create and they have created and will create, honestly.
Yeah, it's exciting. And I love working with smaller companies just starting out and seeing their path. And I'm like, it's okay. Your first order, it's okay. Let's figure this out. What do you want it to look like? What is your vision? What is also going to play well in photography? What's going to play well on social media right now? And so I try to tell them that social media is very different now than it was. Right now, that's free advertising for your product. So I like to discourage clients from picking a gloss lamination because I'm like, If you have people taking a snapshot of that, you're going to get glares, right? You're going to have, so I love a matte finish. So I try to encourage people, let's make this something post worthy now,
Yeah.
is the society we're living in. Let's make it fun. Tag us. Let's show the process. So that's what I'm about. Make print fun.
And honestly, like I said, it is fun.
Yeah, it is. It is
fun.
to convince people, but we have to convince people of it. That's what's a little challenging, I think.
And like you said, like most people that were in your shop, they didn't want to do print. They had never thought about print. So then the question is, how can we introduce print at a younger age? Because honestly, you look at kids, they think of, oh, I'm going to be a firefighter. They're going to be, if their parent's a lawyer, I'm going to be a lawyer or a teacher. They're wonderful professions. There's nothing wrong with them, but nobody puts the printer in front of them and said, hey, college might not be what you want to do, but you can be hands-on, you can be creative, you can have a fulfilling career.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was younger, I didn't like stickers. So I'm also one of those people that never had a sticker on my car. You'll never see me with stickers on things. I'm just not like that. But when I appeal to people, I'm like, you have a sticker on your laptop or you have a sticker. This is just a bigger project on a very different level. So I try to appeal to younger kids, like my niece and nephews. Like, they're like, I want to come work at your company. You make stickers. And they're excited about it because they come here. And I'm like, I want you to draw something. I know that may sound crazy because they're young, but it's putting in their head, like, you can take something, create something, and then print it. And when it's helping people sell their products or doing marketing, we work with some nonprofits, like, you just don't know. And a label will take a company from a $5,000 a year, hey, I'm doing this out of my house, to a $1 million or $10 million. And it's all about that, helping you evolve as a brand and just making it appealing of what can we do? How can we help you think outside?
I will admit, I collected stickers when I was younger, so
Oh,
I had sticker books.
did you? Okay, I love that.
I loved all of the textures to them. Sometimes they were fuzzy, sometimes they were smooth. They had scratch and sniff as well. So all of that fun stuff. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Who doesn't like stickers? Let's be real. Kids, adults. I know adults. We were at a trade show recently and we handed out stickers, and everybody, these are all adults passing by, like, I want one of these for my laptop. I want it. It's fun.
Yes, I won't say that I have stickers sitting on my desk right now. You're a little ray of sunshine. Yes, that I picked up. I was actually at the ASI conference, so
Oh, I
really,
love it.
really cool stickers that I picked up. But yes, and they're gonna go on my water bottle.
See, there you go. But it's fun. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have my walls wrapped with flowers.
Yes, why not?
And yeah, why not? I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want quotes on the wall. But stickers are not just something that are on a bottle. They can be wrapped on walls. We do windows. We do all that stuff. I was like, I want to encompass all of that. I don't want to have to tell a client, no, I can't do that. And when they come in, I want creativity to live here. I think that's important.
And a lot of it too, it's all about personalization. You look at people, what they do to their water bottles with all the stickers that they put on water bottles, but that translates to businesses, that translates to homes. How are we, like you said, you do wallpaper. So how are we personalizing the spaces that we inhabit, the things that we have? I'm not one to put stickers on my car. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But a water bottle, yes. A laptop, I'm in between about that. But you see so many people that they have them. They want to be different. They want to stand out in a different way. And print
Yeah.
allows them to do it.
It does. And I think our packs that we give out to new prospective clients is all California based. So what I have is a little packet that has things from In and Out to the Lakers to things that I love. And I'm like, people are looking at this. I just want the sticker pack. And I'm like, but each item or photography shows you a different substrate. And it's like making it fun. I'm like, I like this one. It's a craft material. And I'm like, I need to do things that are fun and appealing. I want to just hand out a swatch book to somebody and say, here are sticker things. I want to make it fun.
Yeah.
I want people to say, this is something I actually want to take and not throw away.
Something that's memorable, something that they might say, oh, that really cool, whatever that was that I picked up. That'd be really cool to be able to do that for my company.
Exactly.
Why
And
not?
I think it's being a woman and the attention to detail and also creativity and standing out. That's one area that I think as women that we are There's a quote that I've heard: when women support women, great things happen. And it's true. And I think that if we keep doing things and our creativity, our attention to detail, it makes us stand out. I think that's why after 10 years, just being a word of mouth business is why I'm successful. It's because of that creativity. I bring a unique element to print that I don't think a lot of companies have. They do.
Yeah, definitely. And your passion definitely shows through. So,
Yeah.
and that helps too. It's like you're passionate about what you're doing. You love what you're doing. That shows through to your customers and gets them excited.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
It's one big cycle too, because as soon as they get excited, you get more excited because they're excited. And then that feedback loop just
And
continues.
it's when you go shopping and I see my clients on the shelves of stores, or even friends of mine that are shopping who text me and they're like, "Hey, I saw that label being printed," or "I know that's your client." And I'm like, this is what it's about. It's catching somebody's eye and it's sharing. Print can be fun.
Yeah. And it really makes an impact. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't even consider, like how much of an impact. Oh, it's just a sticker or it's just a label, but just how much impact that you get in the community with the company. You're supporting other businesses that are supporting other people to have a life and to be able to work. It just goes on from there.
I agree. I completely agree with you. Yeah.
So, as we're wrapping up, my favorite question, knowing what you know now, so you're 30 plus years in the printing industry, if you were just starting out today, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't be as scared as you were. I think fear drove me because survival was, how am I going to make this work? And me surviving, me having no backup plan, I think that I was scared. And I think you have to go into things with some level of confidence and knowing that I can conquer anything. And my mother would always say, have faith, not fear. And I was always scared, like being in a male dominated society. What could I really do? What am I going to do? I'd be like, Arpy, just go for it. Don't think about anything. Go with your gut. And I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
I wish it was just that easy, though.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. But it's also that mental. I love now, like the positive affirmations, right? I didn't have that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So before 10 years ago, it was me being surrounded by very strong women that encouraged me in my life that there are no limits. You can achieve anything you want. My grandmother, I was first generation born in this country. My grandma came to this country not speaking a word of English, taught herself watching I Love Lucy and reading the LA Times. My mother was a single parent that raised two amazing children. And when I see strength in women, there's nothing we can't conquer.
That's
And
true, though.
fear is something that can hold us back. And so I just tell people not to be scared and just to push the limits and do what you want to do. You have one life to live and be happy. And if it makes you happy, go for it.
Why not? And honestly, that's where some of the faith comes in that it will be okay.
Yeah. And I think it's just grounding yourself and knowing everything is going to work out.
And it will.
And if you're passionate about something, there's nothing that you can't accomplish.
And, you know, it is going to take work. It is going to take effort. It's not like it's going to be an easy road. Like you said, there was challenges. You had to scrape and save to get your first printer. And I'm sure there's other times when things are tight, things are hard. But with that, you also get the joys of the triumphs as well.
You do. And I think I have fun every day coming here. My employees enjoy our environment. We celebrate machine birthdays. I celebrate milestones. Why? Because I've come so far.
Yeah.
If I could talk to my person, I'd say, Arpy, don't be so scared. But I had fear living through me every day. And how am I not only going to start a company, but how am I as a woman going to succeed in a very male-dominated society when I've been in it for 30 years and I still wasn't taken seriously? And to this day, I don't think sometimes I'm taken seriously. But it's to keep pushing, not be afraid, and be comfortable and confident in what you do, and also educated. If you know what you're talking about, nobody can dismiss you. So it's just pushing and learning.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Now, if only we can all put that to use.
Yes. I still give myself pep talks. I still tell myself like, hey, Arpy, you got this. You got this, girl. You can do this.
And that's why women supporting women as well.
Absolutely.
And it goes hand in hand. We give ourselves the pep talks. We give others the pep talk to get everything to go right.
And all I can do is set it up so the next woman that comes in this industry is, wow, she did that. I could do it myself too. That's all I want. I want to make it easier for other women coming into this industry. I don't want it to be as challenging as it was for many of us stepping into it 30 years ago. I want to make it easier.
That's great. Arpy, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today. I really appreciated it.
You are lovely. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us on this journey to celebrate and amplify the voices of women in the printing industry. If you have a story to share or know someone whose journey deserves to be highlighted, we'd love to hear from you. Together, let's continue inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders. Until next time, keep leaving your imprint. This is Her Imprint. See you soon.